It is January 14th, 2019. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. And we're back.
We back.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Dan ain't.
Dan's not back.
You're welcome.
New year, same show. No Dan.
We added a co-host. We've added two. It's now four dudes, one cup. Four dudes, one mic.
Still one cup. It's going to be at least a treble this year or bust.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. I am Tim Herb. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host in the professor's coat, Mr. Kevin Bradley.
This is my game show host setup.
You don't have leather patches on the elbows. I'm pretty disappointed.
I did get it from Goodwill yesterday, though.
Please tell me that are those buttons, are those wooden?
I don't know.
That would actually be pretty awesome.
They're
if those were
leather covered, I think.
Oh, no.
Whatever. Stop judging me.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are listening to us on iTunes, make sure you leave us a rating and or a review. If you guys are watching us on YouTube Live, thank you for taking time out of your busy Monday schedule to join us in the trap for some great fun. We have a good show tonight. It's been a long time in the making. Sorry about this, both of you guys. We have our Home Before Dark MLS Fantasy Champions, Season 1, remotely. We have John F. Beasy. And then right across from us, Nathan Lyons.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So John is better known as, you guys have always heard him because he's been in the freaking top 5 every single week.
He goes by many names.
Because Dan couldn't even be here. I think Dan bowed out because he was the one that was saying your name wrong. And I think that he bowed out. He doesn't like confrontation.
Yeah, he started that fight with when my friends had to chime in and let everybody know that I'm real.
He's too busy. He can't be bothered to get people's names right because he's busy reproducing.
His mind is all on new names.
He's having to think of new names. That's really how he keeps his mind fresh.
So John is Stats and Trends. John, you don't like that name. I think it's pretty accurate because of the fact that you're on the money every single damn time. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, it came from work. Use a lot of stats and trend models. So we do a college football pick'em at work, and that's my college football pick'em name. I never really expected to win, so too bad I don't have a cool soccer name. You know, something like Varvar Binks or something.
There's always next season.
Yeah, and then we have Nathan.
And now that it's a thing, I can't change my name. It's got to be
set. You can.
That's true.
Yeah. No, not at all. And then we have Nathan, aka FC Apogee. What does that come from?
Apogee, what means like the position of the moon furthest from the sun.
Oh,
nerd. In high school, it's pretty artistic and creative, and thought about a lot of different weird things. So it's just kind of a name that I've just used as an avatar name. Doesn't really mean a whole lot except for just a name that I've been using.
Like Avatar, like the movie Avatar?
But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Your made up name. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we go online and play Avatar. No, not that far.
Second Life.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you guys want to be part of this competition, I guess, in a couple weeks, I guess
it's starting back up soon.
Yep. In about 2 months, a little less than 2 months now, we will have the spring season of MLS Fantasy started. And
we had a good bit of, how many teams?
I think we ended up with like 100 some odd teams.
And only 10 were still playing at the end in true fantasy fashion.
Yeah.
Great.
That's how you guys kept cleaning up. It was the same 5 names both seasons, I swear.
Andy snuck in there in that second season.
Yeah, I did. Soccer-specific fantasy team.
So, yeah, we wanted to make sure you guys came on and hung out with us. We got a lot of stuff to talk about that happened in the offseason. Not a lot of housekeeping because there's no fantasy leagues to take care of.
I'll do one real quick. As you guys know, or if you're new to the show, if you guys leave us a rating and or a review on iTunes, we will read the review loud on the show. Loud, not a loud. And we have one that came in over the holiday break from HR Pitts, and it's 5 stars. Funny, interesting. I can't believe I'm willing listening to sports commentary and actually enjoying it. So,
right on.
I don't know if it's commentary. Commentary. Yeah. I guess.
Screw ratings. Review only, as Bill says. Those are the best parts.
Yeah, review only.
Either way,
even though the entirety of iTunes had a huge scare in the middle of December when everybody's ratings got smashed in half.
I panicked.
Yeah, everybody panicked. That's gold. That's the currency.
So we broke the 150 threshold, and we want to break the 250 threshold this season.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
Yeah,
that's got to be doable.
So, yeah, leave ratings, reviews on iTunes, and we'll read whatever it says aloud on the show. And
leave a thumbs up if you're watching, just so we can get more people in here to vote on what we're about to what's about to go down.
So to give everyone a lay of the land, we are going to have our regularly scheduled program for the first half of this show, and then we're going to let the second half get a little silly. It's our goal tonight to crown the one true king of fantasy in the HB4D 2018 season. So we have a series of topics on these cue cards. Neither of our contestants have seen them. And for each one of them, we'll flip a coin. We'll designate each one of them a stance to take and argue out their position. We'll take your votes on who we think won each round. And then those compiled with the survey, which we'll post on Twitter following this episode, will crown our one true king. Everybody wins, though. You're both here. We're excited to have both of you guys on. Even more excited that Dan couldn't be here. And with that, let's start the show.
I feel like I need the little soundboard.
We need like a little need the intro there.
Yeah. It has been I'm going to go ahead and let you guys educate me on about what's been going on for the past couple weeks, because I feel like I've been doing this more often than not with both of my soccer teams every offseason, or both off seasons, or transfer windows, what have you. It's like I've started to detach. And the more I've detached from social media, even more I'm getting detached from the team right now and the news that's going on. And it feels like nothing has happened since Frank, aside from Frank DeBoer getting appointed and the draft. I feel like nothing's happened.
There's a lot of rumors going around. Miggy transfer rumors, kind of here and there with Newcastle. People thought Newcastle was over. Looked like they weren't interested, and then kind of just now they're just playing coy. Looks like Miggy. That looks like there's definitely interest there with Newcastle, and now they're in the relegation zone after this last weekend. Who knows how things are going to go from there?
Yeah. It's going to be tough. I mean, I've dropped pretty bad words about Mike Ashley, their owner, live on the show, and I don't know that he's going to splash cash to bring in somebody.
It's a tough situation. One of my buddies, Carl Segi, is a big Newcastle fan, so he.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I am very sorry, Carl.
So that would be great for him to see Miggy go on his team.
Yeah,
kind of save them from falling back down like they did last year. But it was kind of rumors back and forth with Miguel. First, there's a rumor saying that the team's transfer was set, but then he wanted too much money. He wanted $100,000 a week, which is a lot.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then Miggy's agent said, no, we're set on this. It's the team that hasn't settled out with the transfer fee yet. So it's just all these rumors going back and forth, which is normal. With the time of year, really with Darren Eales, he's completely experienced with this, being from Tottenham and all that.
Yeah.
I would expect the month, we've got the month until the 31st, this is millions of dollars that they want. The question is, what happens if they don't come to an agreement with the team from Miggy? And that's where you start to think about all the different possibilities. Of course, you're limited to 3 DPs. And right now we've got, 3.5 is Pity. Everyone's saying Pity's here, Pity's coming. Even he said, he was interviewed, he said that he's getting kind of
it's kind of the worst kept secret in football right now. I mean, the Argentinian national team basically congratulated him, put up a whole post about it. His coach was saying how they have an excuse to come to Atlanta now. John, what are some of your thoughts on the Miguel signing, trading, Pity watch, and the player acquisitions as they've played out on the DP slots over the past couple of weeks?
We should all 4 of them. Let's see. I think selling Miggy would be the best thing we could do. I mean, our team won't be as good, but we want to show young players that we can flip them. And I mean, with Pity, he's good. I don't want to say he's bigger than Miggy, but I mean, I've watched his highlights. I would not be upset if he joins our team. I mean, I'll be sad to see Miggy go, but all that money and we can get more Pitties, we can get more Miguels, more Joseph, more Tito. The bigger question is, what of the 4 do you want to leave? Do you want Barco out? Do you want Joseph gone? Do you want Miggy gone? If you had to choose one, I wonder who's on the bottom of that list.
So let's start that. Let's start it off. We're not going to get into the formal discussions here, but what would you guys, if you had to pick out of those four, right? Our three DPs that we currently have between Martinez, Miggy, and Barco, and now adding Pitty to that conversation, who stays, who goes?
I think this is an easy one. I mean, Barco's the youngest. He's not even a starter for us. He would be loaned out, probably temporary loan. I don't think they would sell him right off. I don't think they'd get the value back for him this soon. So you'd loan him out, and that's a realistic proposition. Just depends on, you don't want Miggy to be upset that we hold up his transfer to Europe. So that'd be the biggest thing I'd be worried about, But this summer is a bigger transfer period for Europe, and so I think a short-term loan to somebody for Barco would be the best idea. And even there's a rumor that Independiente was gonna get Barco back. Yeah. Honestly, I think that, to me, that sounds like a rumor that's kind of just thrown out there to make it a viable that we could do something like that. Not that we would, but just to say, for Newcastle or whatever, they're saying, oh, you got 4 DPs, you need to give it to them for cheaper. Say, no, we can loan out Barco anytime we want to.
John, what's your thought?
Well, I mean, Barco, it would make the most sense for him to go. He pretty much touched up on everything. But he's almost like the easy one to get rid of. Hasn't really stepped into the first team that well. Had some off the field issues, and the other three are. I mean, Pitty's going to be good. He's going to be. But I think for team morale and for what it means for Miguel, you have to let him go. You have to sell him, just to do right by him. And if we replace him with an equal caliber player, I think Barco can step in and fill in nice enough that we can win CONCACAF.
Yeah, it seems to be the consensus in the trap. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new names too. I'm happy to see this. So we have Hannah New saying yes, Barco out. Joe Johnstone, Barco loaned to Independiente. Gator 711, who is Joey from Terminus Legion, saying Barco as well. Elliot Beevan, Barco. Richard, loan out Barco. Domer, Barco loan.
Elliot Beevan, it is a pity for Barco.
Yeah, for sure.
So my only concern with that is, and another topic to discuss that's happened so far in the offseason, is that we now know Atlanta United's new head coach, and Frank de Boer. Yes, Netherlands. Yes, excited. We'll save that for a second. But with Barco, you have a coach and an individual that's known to mold youth players in a meaningful way. I don't think that you have any issues moving Miggy somewhere. My argument would be to maintain Barco and sell Miggy, because you're going to be able to sell Miggy, right? Barco, what are you really going to get for him right now? I think right now his stock is a little low, and it's not going to benefit the team other than freeing up the spot, versus actually getting him to develop some and not running the risk of Miggy getting injured or something transpiring over the next season. I don't know how much higher Miggy's stock is going to go than it is right now.
Yeah, it's crazy because there hasn't been, after the past couple of years in Europe, there was so much cash splash. I feel like right now teams are being a little more austere. Yeah. And you're not seeing these huge moves. You're not even seeing these 25, 30 million pound moves that are going on right now. So those kind of moves are at a premium. Right. I mean, granted, he had a really bad showing for all intents and purposes in his first game for RB Leipzig, but Tyler Adams, who was one of the best midfielders in MLS last year, went over there for like $2 million, something like that. And I mean, you take a look at those two things. And then, sorry, I just wanted to touch on this point that Richard Gordon had, that whenever you're talking about Independiente wanting Barco back on a loan, the thing about that is, in most cases, whenever you loan out a player, you don't want to take on their entire salary.
That's exactly
Independiente doesn't have any money right now. That's the whole reason they sold Barco to begin with, right? And then I don't want us to be having to foot the bill for that, because I don't know how that works out. I understand. I mean, there's still a salary cap beyond the DP designations, and if we get rid of a DP and we're still having to pay half, 40% of his salary, I mean, that really hinders us, because we already have some expensive guys on the books like McCann, who are making more than they probably should. And then I don't know. It's kind of tough.
No, I think you're exactly right. And selling Miggy now would be the best case scenario. Showing other young South Americans that we're willing to get them onto Europe, advertising the name Atlanta United for Europe. So that's the best case. I think Darren's in a tough spot because he said he wouldn't get out of bed unless it was a $30 million offer.
Yeah.
And then if the offer is like 20 million and they're like moving their way up to 20, 22, 23, who knows where it is now. But
he'll just probably furlough all the unessential staff until he gets the deal that he wants, would be my guess. Political jokes.
Yeah. Not here.
That's funny. We went to my wife and I went up to Kennesaw Mountain while the kids were at school, and then we get there and the parking lot's closed, and we park and walk up like, what's going on? I was like, oh yeah, this is federal.
Oh no.
There's still some like stragglers walking up the mountain. Like, should we go up?
Yeah.
So we walked around it instead.
Yeah. So you say you definitely think what do you think Pitty's going to be better than Miggy, John? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that because of what Miguel has been to the team, the city, the locker room. I mean, I love watching him play, but I think Pitty is – so Miguel's better at pressing up the field vertically on a break. He goes full speed with the ball at his feet, can spring an attack better than anybody. But Pitty's – I think he's better with the ball on his feet on the wing. He can cross the ball in better vision. He can cut on the inside, bend the ball back post. He can use his left foot, drive it low. I mean, he can score, he can pass, he can assist. He's got a great first touch. You know, I've watched all of those YouTube videos with the EDM on in the background. You know, he's got it all. So I mean, I'll go on the record and say Pitty will be better than Miguel for our team. Yeah.
So who do you think, knowing that Frank's coming in, I touched on it briefly, him coming in as the head coach, both where the players stand now, I think there's a little bit of discrepancy between Pitty and Barco, but they're both relatively young players with high ceilings. John, I'll open up the floor to you. What do you think their trajectories are independently of one another, and where you think Barco and Pitty may be going with the Frank signing and Frank in general for the team?
Yeah, I mean, Frank's the right hire for this. He can take young players and develop them, move them on. It's fun if you look what happened at Ajax. You got I mean, look at the players they've moved on. They have I mean, you know, Suarez, Ibrahimovic played there. I mean, they're a list of players. They have a all-star caliber, best 11 world-class team. I'm not saying we'll do anything close to that, but if we could become half of that, if we could become the Ajax MLS, that would that's our goal, I think. And I think he's the coach that can do it. As for the trajectory of Barco, I mean, yeah, he can only go up from here. He showed some flashes of brilliance last year. He just needs to learn how to be more decisive in the attack. He's really good at keeping the ball, moving left, moving right, drawing fouls. But I think he needs to be more decisive in the box. Yeah, he makes his decision one touch too late, I think.
Yeah, I think that was saying that last year that, you know, nobody moves better laterally and does nothing with the ball than Ezequiel Barco did last year. That was, but again, I mean, you touched on the fact that he's young. I mean, it's if he learns to have that incisive touch, then he is going to be a force to reckon with. I mean, he had that stretch. I would say I'm trying to remember what the stretch after he came back from first injury, right? Whenever the goal against Chicago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Chicago game was kind of his standout performance, I felt like, last year. And then he kind of just, you know, the off the field stuff, I think, got into his head. I think a lot of fans probably jeered him more than they should have. I think
a lot of the off the field stuff was playing with his mind. He's a teenager coming to a different culture, recently married, millionaire right off the bat, and dealing with all these things, and then trying to get into the first team and injured, like all these mental things are going on. And then the whole thing with Brandon Vasquez and who knows all the details. I don't know if we ever will, but that going on, just all these mental things, off the field things, I'm sure are playing with his mind. And I was even saying with Tata Martino here, I think that was a bad fit for him because Tata Martino is such a fatherly figure, just kind of like someone you would never want to disappoint. Someone who's going to give you that tough love and you really care for you as a person. I was almost thinking that this, Frank de Boer would be a great choice because he's, stern, but not like very personal. It's like, I don't care what you do off the field. Just, go there and work. Just keep working. I think that'd be great for Barco to have Frank de Boer here with him.
Yeah. Another big thing that happened during offseason last week, we had the MLS draft at the end of last week, right?
Yep. Save the best for last, in his own words.
Yeah.
And pick up Anderson Asiadu from UCLA.
Yeah. Little bulldogish midfielder
from Ghana.
Yeah.
From playing on what did Jade put out a trailer video for him? It's like
Of course
from playing on dirt fields in Ghana to playing inside Mercedes-Benz.
You could have just played that Clint Dempsey rap video. You know, have you ever? He's like,
no. Does Breck Shea have
pretty
one
much
yet?
the same thing. Oh man,
it's just a matter of time now. He's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I was telling my friend. Yeah, have you guys read the article or any of his backstory articles? ATC did a great one about just some of his past history. Is like I was texting my friends, guys, you got to read this. If you try not to cry when you read it, if you don't cry when you read it, I don't want to be your friend. So I was really just like he's coming from the poorest part of Africa. There's a lot of great places, industrialized in Ghana and Nigeria, but he comes from a very poor part. No electricity, and his mom dies when he's 10, and his grandma takes him over but can't afford to pay for him or can't afford to raise him, so she drops him off at an orphanage. And then a high school coach comes and like scouts and picks him up and takes him to New Jersey, and then he goes to Monmouth, and then at UCLA just kind of not used to the different cultures. And even one part he tried to defecate or urinate on the field, and they're like, no, you gotta, we go inside here. It's like, oh, I never went inside before. It's like it's completely different things. It's a really, really touching story. Go read about it if you haven't yet.
Yeah. What do you think about that pick, John? I mean, it seems like he's kind of an understudy under maybe Jeff Lorenowitz and Nagbe and Remedi.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a pretty good midfield as it is, and it's going to be tough to break into it. Gressel was a diamond in the rough. I wish every player we draft can turn into that. But with Remedi and Nagbe, I mean, Lorenowitz, we definitely need a little bit. But as far as our starters, for him to break in, it's going to be tough. So I don't know a lot about. I don't have all the backstories about him defecating on the field or that orphanage story. That was cool. So I'm wishing the best. I wish every player we signed became elite. But I do love Ghanaians. There's some they can play soccer. So
that point about people wanting the best for people, another big signing that's happened in this offseason so far was the acquisition of Breck Shea, who was at Vancouver lastly.
Yep. Yeah,
so,
he was.
A big sort of dividing mentality between the fan base about whether people are excited about him or kind of lamenting it a little bit. What are your thoughts, John, on wanting the best for players? I think all of us stand to reason share that mentality, and we've seen this team take players that maybe were forgotten or overlooked in the league and turn them into something else, and others that the answer still, or the what's the phrase, the not the answer's still out, the
jury's still out
jury's still out on a few. So
it's like the Scranton Strangler case.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your thoughts on Breck Shea, another big signing for Atlanta so far?
Yeah, I think he was just added as a true depth piece. He has the international experience with the U.S. men's national team. He played in England, but I think he's been a little bit of a disappointment, and he definitely has personality. I just hope his personality doesn't get in the way of him as a player. It'd be great if he could come in and compete for that starting job, but we have we have enough. Man, I forgot who's the young 16-year-old. I forgot his name. Wow.
Hello.
Huh?
Hello.
Yeah, I mean we have enough where we don't need Breck Shea, but I want to see him succeed, and I just can't get over his hair, his outfits, his clothes. He's something else.
Yeah, you guys know Beck Hansen, like I'm a Loser Baby.
Yeah,
he reminds me of tall Beck Hansen.
Yeah, I could see that.
Eccentric, kind of quiet. Brett and Breck is kind of similar to Beck too.
Yeah.
But I remember when we got Darlington Nagbe, a lot of Portland fans were like, hey, you know, good luck with him. He's going to frustrate you to no end in the attacking third because he's going to miss and blah, blah,
exactly.
blah. And then we're like, okay. And then we just put him in the right place.
Great point.
Just to succeed. Breck Shea, I think, was making like 750,000 or so. That
Vancouver. Is my biggest concern is what we're paying him now.
Rumors are that we're paying about 1/3 of that.
Well, that'd be great. I'm on board at that price point. Anything above 550, I think, is way too much.
And so he's artistic, he's creative, he's eccentric. I can see him either taking this. You know, it's a humbling move to get a pay cut like that. But I can see him either say, you know, this is my career, this is another chance, let me really jump in here and work hard. Or he can be like, you know what, I've got other stuff going on in my mind. I think we'll see pretty quickly which Breck Shea we're going to get.
Yeah, and old Buffalo Bill's got a good point. We're going to have 2 starting jobs, one for CCL, one for the league. Shea will be a great starter for league. We really do have 2 approaches to this season that the team has to take just because of the additional games on our calendar and on our schedule. I think who was it talking that we have a chance at winning like 6 trophies this season or something
it's
like
either
that?
5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be ridiculous between CCL, Open Cup, regular season play, Campeones Cup.
Yeah, there are 2 of those. Those 2 of those trophies come from single games, though. Campeones Cup and then the World Cup. Well, I guess no, that one's not. But the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to point out is people were talking about. You know, I think that's part of the perception. The misperception here is, and I told you this whenever I saw the rumblings, or we were talking about the Breck Shea signing early on, is I've always kind of been I was a really big fan of him kind of from the start, and I'm an apologist for his recent play. So I don't know if I'm the most objective source whenever it comes to this.
It's like me and you in our friendship. You're just a Kevin apologist half the time, I feel like. It's like I have a lot of potential, but I've just never really capitalized on it.
It's my fault for playing you at left back.
It really is.
No, that's one thing that I think that people are talking about now is, you know, he's a left wing back, he's a left back, and that's what he was doing at Vancouver. But I feel like he was kind of deputized in that role because he was more playing just a straight out and out winger whenever he was really thriving. And I think that whenever you talk about, and it might be harder for him to break in on the left wing further up the field, but I mean, you are talking about Bello, you're talking about McCann, you're talking about Mikey Ambrose if he comes back, that are probably going to supplant Breck Shea. But Breck Shea, I think, he's one of my favorite types of players in that he's big, he's imposing, but he's also fast. And I think that we've talked about that before with Brandon Vasquez whenever he's been deployed on the wing, and even Gressel to an extent, who's kind of hefty, that it kind of screws up the
momentum and the pace that they want to play on.
Yeah, exactly. The backs or the fullbacks that they're going up against don't know how to react a lot of the time.
I think some of that depends on, I mean, Gressel has found success because he's not as stocky or not as slow, and he is a more versatile player versus Vasquez, who I think plays a little bit more of a forward role, just like what Kinman would do, and he ends up getting a little stuck up there in that position in no man's land versus what we expect to see out of our wingers and backs to be tracking up and down the field. So it all depends on if Frank starts to change that approach to the attack and where he fits into that. So anybody having issues with the video feed? I think Joe is on dial-up still. I don't know where everybody else is.
I think everybody's okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. I just dropped down the quality a little bit just in case.
All right,
just
cool.
in case we're taking up too much bandwidth.
All right. Okay, so we did any other comments on Breck before we move on?
I just think we trust the analytics that they did on him. I mean, same with Arlington.
In front office, we trust, right?
What are they seeing him? His height, his speed, his shot strength. I mean, I don't know what else, but trust what they're doing.
Yeah, he had a couple not top 10 plays that happened last year, and I hope that kind of stay out of his mind.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Granted, Vancouver wasn't the best of teams during the majority of last year, I feel like. So, yeah.
Other big thing, part of this never-ending season and the multiple trophies that Atlanta will win is how and what they'll be wearing when playing towards those trophies. So a lot of discussion about the kit redesign. We all know that there is a new home kit this season. Interested to hear some of your thoughts. There's been a lot of speculation on different fan-created kits, maybe some of the things that you're thinking that you'd like to see or what you maybe anticipate seeing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm all about getting in the expect it expected to leak at some point, and I thought it would have come earlier than this, but I like to keep it simple. I like the 5 stripes, at least for now. I don't know if we should always stay in 5 stripes.
Well, the club has come out and made a public announcement that the 5 stripes is only beholden to the crest. Yeah. So, and my thought is that I think that holds while the AmFam logo and sponsorship is in place, and then that expires after next season. So maybe the next wave of home kits, the 5 stripes goes away. I think it might be a little premature now, but you and I were talking before the show. I think the most creative option is essentially to switch the red sleeves and back for a black sleeve and back, and that's been the best option I've seen so far.
Yeah, keeping it simple. I like that mock-up that we were looking at, except it had the gold down the armpits. I'd rather it stay on the shoulders. But that looked really, really nice.
What about you, John? What do you think? What are you hoping for in terms of the or not hoping for?
Well, I mean, I love the 5 stripes. That's our name. We got to stay true to that. Just put some gold trim on it. It'd be fun, though, if we could go crazy and get have you seen the Waffle House mock-up jerseys?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be fun if we could do that, but I know we can't. But, maybe just switch the colors, add some gold trim. Something classic, though. We want to keep that tradition, classic excellence, something classy.
As long as it's got a star on it,
guys. Yeah, exactly. There's that, but
yeah,
I just feel about
I like the collars.
I
like a collared kit, man.
Well, Adidas, they make the kits.
I like the Portland collared kits. They're a little bit different. It's like the higher collar versus like the longer, floppier collars. I like the Portland collars more than others. Yes, King Peach Michelle will stay in place.
Real quick, I know you can't. All the podcasters,
you got to Simba that thing.
Can't hear it, but maybe something like this for a jersey design would be pretty cool.
I like it.
So baby Declan, he was born 5 days before we won the cup, so he's kind of the reason we won the cup.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Dan has another one coming in just a couple weeks. So
I mean, do we need to have a debate now? Can you just give him the Twitter vote right now?
Yeah, I feel like we need to get a screenshot of that whenever you. What's the name, by the way?
Declan.
Declan.
Yeah.
Gotta get Iron Tooth to do a little Declan. Galosh piece.
Yeah, not the Jay Riddle.
Yes,
kick him off, throw him off the side of the mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what were you saying about the Adidas collared kits?
Yeah, Adidas makes all the kits for Major League Soccer, and if you look at all of them, there's not a lot of versatility, not a lot of distinguishing features in all of them. So that's what I like about ours. It's different than all the other ones. Whatever we do, as long as we're not carbon copy the rest of the league, make it something like this that stands out. That's all I want.
There's no faux collars where the colors just change, make it look like
a
collar. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I think I saw Joey talking about a concept kit that had the hoops, like the hoops around the jersey.
Yeah, the bumblebee stripes.
Oh God, I'm a huge fan of those U.S. men's national team hoop jerseys.
I like that. I don't know if I want it now for Atlanta United. Maybe Barcelona went like 100 years and then they finally got hoops for one time. I'd like to stay with stripes for now.
Yeah.
All right. So we did kit redesign, Frank, Pity Watch, Breck Shea, Anderson signing. Other things are. We do have the Mexico game coming up in Atlanta at that's in September or no? That's July.
It's June. No, June or July, right?
Yeah, June or July in the summer. Excited? Going to it? The return of Tata?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to go there.
You're not going to go to it?
I mean, it's great. Mexican fans are great. They're, they support their team. A lot in the United States. Mexico plays actually more. I think you'd have to fact check this, but they play a lot of games in the United States.
Yeah.
A lot of friendlies in the United States because they know they'll sell.
Yeah.
I think it's great for Atlanta, not necessarily great for me or Atlanta United.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, John?
Yeah, I want to go. Love the U.S. men's national team. Love Atlanta United. That's it. That's where my allegiances stop. So yeah, I'll go for sure. I've been to every soccer game at the Benz, counting the All-Star game, championship game, playoff games. I don't see it stopping.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I mean, we got enough players that can get an easy call up for that game.
We don't.
It'll be right there.
No, what I was going to say, is it against U.S. men's national team?
I believe so.
No.
I know, because they didn't announce it. No, they haven't even announced the opponent yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that's true. I just saw. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So here's a question.
Juventus?
That'd be really stupid. Knowing how much everybody loves Tata Martino and what he did for this team for the past 2 years,
It's against Argentina.
if it's against anybody really, other than maybe
Barcelona.
Yeah, but you're so dumb. You are so dumb. No,
Oh, it's against Ajax. Oh yeah.
I think this struck a debate in the last World Cup, since we missed people wanting to cheer, like Fox Sports pushing everybody to cheer for Mexico. Would you be more inclined to cheer on Mexico if it wasn't against the U.S. men's national team or your country or your home country?
What if it's against Netherlands? That would be. I want that.
Would you be more inclined now to cheer for Tata or cheer for Mexico with Tata there now?
It depends on who they're playing.
That's what I just
I
said.
don't know. I love Tata Martino. I'll have to wait and see how I react, because I don't cheer for Mexico. I like Mexico.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, same here.
You know, when Mexico does well, it makes us look better. I hope they do well. I hope they don't get embarrassed. And you know, they've got a lot of great young talent. They've got great fans. But I mean, I'm a U.S. M&T fan, so I don't cheer for Mexico.
Yeah.
You in that same position?
I mean, I hate Mexico. I always have. I mean, not the nation. You know, don't get me wrong. Just the Mexican national team. Yeah, no, it's okay. But I love Tata. I'd like to see him succeed. I hate saying that. I'll probably cry myself to sleep in the shower in the fetal position if they win anything significant. But I want us to win too. But either way, so long as he does good things, I'll be happy for him. And if that means silently rooting for Mexico, it won't be the worst thing that happens. Besides, it'd be a big fuck you to the U.S. men's national team for not even considering hiring him. Yeah, how do you not interview him? So I wouldn't mind seeing him win, just to show the incompetency of the U.S. men's national team.
They're doing a good job on their own.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I did want to ask, but they're talking about the documentaries, soccer documentaries in the chat. I know, Kevin, you were big on the Sunderland Till I Die.
Very big.
Knowing now, Carl, I had no idea. Carl's a Geordie. Can you bring yourself to watch Sunderland Till I Die, or does it make you very happy to watch the ending of that?
I was gonna ask about that too. I haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, it's
for Carl there, Newcastle.
He says yes, so it makes him very happy to watch them get relegated.
I watched that. I finished that this week. It was really well done.
Did you just watch it like I did, clutching your Atlanta United scarf and being very thankful for all the run of form that we've had the past 2 years?
And, you know, not only that, but even considering the bigger picture as far as, is pro rel good? And then this is where you come into MLS. Like, MLS gets a lot of criticism for the salary cap, for growing so slowly, which they deserve criticism. But at this moment, looking at overspending, how a great club, Carl's going to hate me say Sunderland's a great club, right? Because they're big rivals to Newcastle. But it's a big club, great support, big stadium, one of the biggest regular stadiums in the country. And then, you know, after our owner takes a few bad turns, a few bad investments, and then stops caring about the team just crashes down. Yeah. And, you know, we don't have that in the United States. And then really, as you're developing your brands in MLS, you know, you don't want a team to free fall like that.
I do. There's a few teams that I want.
And then you go to balance, you know, it's gone to the other side where some owners, like in New England in particular, he's got the money. Like, people criticize Atlanta, like, oh, you're just buying your way to a championship. Well, look at New England. He's got money, right?
Oh, Bill Holcomb.
And then he's not doing anything with it. He's just like, yeah, I'm just going to collect my check from the team. And so there needs to be a balance. I would like to see in like an MLS 1 and 2, the league grows, you can be relegated to the second division. But then if you're at the bottom, there's a floor. You're not just, you know, relegated into obscurity.
Well, I think that's kind of the direction and precedent that they've set, right? Is that with this next year, they're doing the 3 divisions. And so all of the teams with a 2 in their name, like Atlanta United 2, will be in that 3rd division. So that teams like Louisville and I guess what
Charleston,
Nashville would still be, they can start to prepare a division that a pro rail system starts to make sense, that you still have a lower division team, that it will always be there, and it's not kind of sinking down 3 and 4 tiers.
Right. We're getting too deep. Pro rail is another completely different discussion.
It definitely is.
Quit avoiding
what the people are here for.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Tim, why don't you flip the coin and we will. What? So how do you want to do this again?
I'm gonna flip the coin. Heads. Nathan gets to pick the first stance. So
Okay.
Kevin's gonna read a topic. He's gonna read the 2 stances, and then whoever. So heads for Nathan, tails for John. Whoever wins gets to choose the first topic. You guys vote in the trap. Let us know who made a more compelling case.
Okay.
And then that person gets to pick the.
I really
pick
wish
the next
we had a
stance.
soundboard. Oh, I can do this. All right, you ready? Go ahead, flip it. Round 1.
All right, it's heads.
So the choice goes to Nathan.
Yes.
So Nathan, you get to make the choice between 2 players, which was a contentious battle the past few seasons, last year especially, in the starting lineup between Gressel and Tito Villalba.
I will pick and argue for Gressel. First of all, because that's what Tata Martino picked, and he won us a championship starting Gressel. Gressel has a German background, German mentality. He's gone for, learned a lot, progressed basically game to game. You can see his progression and how much he's learned and gone and grown game to game. Didn't really see that with Tito. Tito, started strong and have a good game. He's very inconsistent. Got injured. That's why he's put on the bench. And then Gressel, his versatility playing, up top, playing on the wing, playing in the midfield, playing the right back, wing back, all these different places. He forced, and really I was surprised when at the beginning of last year when he said, I'm going to be starting. I'm like doing the math, like, we got Barco. I don't see him starting, but he proved everyone wrong.
All right. So some shots fired there before John can even get a word out. John taking defense of Tito Villalba over Gressel in the starting lineup. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, let's see. So Tito, only reason he lost his starting job was because he got injured. I don't think Tata would have went to Gressel had Tito not gotten injured. Tito, he fits the style of the team better. He's a cutthroat player. He's an assassin out there. They're 2 completely different styles. Gressel's more like a jackknife, where Tito is a true attacker. So if we could find a way to get them both on the field, that would work. But as far as just a straight out attacker, I think Villalba he has the better skills. Gressel belongs on the wing, crossing the ball in. He's got the best cross in the game. That cross he had against New York from midfield when he bent it into Joseph in New York. That's where Gressel belongs. Tito running down the field, scoring goals.
All right. People in the trap. Who do you think? Not between Gressel and Tito, but between Nathan and Jacob. Who do you think won round 1? And we'll see your votes, and we'll kind of try to tally them up. Again, this will come down to a vote at the end through our Twitter poll.
Lethal weapon.
Lethal weapon. There's your there's your fantasy league name.
Yeah. What's my new name? I forgot. What is it?
It depends. It depends on the day and when you ask. What did I just say, Jacob? Well, it's up to you to earn your real name back. We'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough.
All right. So far we have 3 for John. So we're gonna go ahead and give John. We got 3 for John.
One for Nethel.
We got 4.
Okay, John taking it away on round 1. So John's going to take 1 in the voting. What we will do is we'll take the
then Iron Tooth.
John
Iron Tooth.
All right. We're cutting off the vote at Gator 711, who said Gressel. Too late. No more cuts there. It was Nethel. You missed it. It's done. Okay. So John will take round 1. We'll factor these in. This will be graded on a curve whenever we get the final results in for our survey.
Throw some stats and trends in there.
We'll throw some stats and trends in there and see how you guys did. All right.
I loving the souvenir cup, by the way, John.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got like 10 of these. I want to get every player to sign it. That'd be pretty sweet. Almiron, Gressel. The hard one's going to be Assad, but
no, he'll be back. Don't worry.
Goals in life, got to set them high.
Round 2, Tim, flip the coin.
No, John gets to pick.
Oh, yeah,
he
John
won. Yes.
Okay,
it's
John
make
won.
it, take it. It's like the
make
playground.
It, take it.
Yeah.
No checks. You don't get to check it in here. So you made it. You take it. It's up to you now. So round 2. Your options to defend are between Pop-Tarts and toaster strudel. Make your case.
Okay. You got to go Pop-Tarts, right? They're less messy. You can eat them on the go. Strudels, flaky. Sometimes you mess up putting the icing on. Yeah, it's hard to get the ratio of icing to strudel just right. You always end up with too much icing at the end or not enough. Pop-Tart, consistent. You get just the right amount of icing, just the right amount of filling. Love me some Pop-Tarts.
All right, bonus on the Pop-Tart. I will give the same to Neethel whenever it gets to be his choice. If you had to choose a flavor of Pop-Tart, this will go against you if you pick the wrong flavor. The community will speak to this. One choice in Pop-Tart, go.
Cinnamon and sugar.
All right.
Going deep on that one. That's the best.
Neethel, toaster strudel.
So toaster strudels, I would argue, are vastly superior to those dry, crusty, dry out your mouth out of the box. They're flaky because they're made with real butter. You put them in the toaster, you start to smell it cooking right away. The strawberry, is warm and it is gooey as you eat it. The icing is a bonus. You don't have to use it. If you bath your hands, then you don't have to put it on. But I like putting it on. You make your own designs with it. You can sign your name with it.
You could go-gurt it if you really wanted to.
You just eat the icing.
Exactly.
What's so bad about icing? And then they're soft, and so that's why toaster strudels are better.
I was going to say, I grew up with an older brother where I was going to ask you this as a bonus question. What do you do? It's the last toaster strudel. You put it in the toaster, and then you pull out the box, and the person who last ate it used 2 icing packets. Do you throw it away, or do you power through it?
You gotta power through it.
All right. So what flavor toaster strudel? Which way are you looking at?
Classic strawberry.
Classic strawberry. All right.
For me, it's sausage, egg, and cheese.
Oh, my man.
With the icing.
Especially that little cold core in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. It's
all right. In the trap, Nathan put Nathan for toaster strudel, John for Pop-Tarts.
And this is not personal preference. This is how they made the arguments here, people. I cannot understate that because some of these things are going to be contentious, and it's hard to not let personal opinions sway your votes. But these gentlemen have fought valiantly throughout the season in fantasy, and now they're fighting valiantly. We are trying to crown a true king here, guys. All right, so we got a couple for John out the boat. We got one for Nathan up top. This one's kind of split here.
Yeah.
Might have to flip a coin for this one. Oh, we got a couple more, John. No. Nathan back again. John. Okay. Yeah.
John's pulling away.
Do you want to recount? What do you think, Nathan? Are you content to give this one to John?
I just want to make sure everyone knows that I'm Nathan. Just in case there's any.
You're right. Joey did say something about name tags. He said he's going to leave us a bad review. We'll get professional at some point. We'll get the lower thirds going on the screen.
Yeah, we need to. All right. So I think it's consensus. That one goes to John.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All right. So that one goes to John as well for Team Pop-Tarts. Who knows what put it over the edge?
Yeah, Cecilia Stevens, new name, welcome, saying originally strudel, but John made a good case.
Great case.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay. All right. So, John.
But for real, it's about the chocolate fudge toasted with some peanut butter on the back of it.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
No, dude. You do strawberry with a little bit of peanut butter on there.
Or just chocolate chip and double deck it.
Fucking right, dude. I'm all about that life. Let's go, homie. All right. So, John, make it, take it. There's a lot of discussion as we neared the end of last season where Atlanta United was in the running for two different situations, two different trophies, about which one really meant more. Ultimately, Atlanta United won the cup. You see where this decision and this direction is going. Round 3, Shield versus Cup. Go.
Yeah. I've always liked better. It's
which one was that? Sorry.
Yeah. What?
Which one did you say?
Yeah, the Shield.
Okay.
It's the triumph over the marathon. I think cream rises to the top at the end, and to the foreign players, it's what they're used to. So I would say, yeah, you go for the Shield. Something about just winning over an extended period of time.
It's a bold choice. I know a lot of people are going to be swayed because Atlanta won the cup. And Nathan, with that, your argument for the cup over the Shield.
So absolutely, it's the what do we have here? I mean, what do we print on our scarves here? This is a cup. This is what we won. The cup is superior. The Supporter Shield would make sense if it was a balanced schedule, but with East and West, you don't play the same people, and so it's not a good comparison. It's not a good reflection of who's the best at the end of the year. Ask New York Red Bulls if they would trade all of their Supporters Shield for one MLS Cup. I'm sure they'd say yes. And then one more word, the star. What gets you the star on your kit is the MLS Cup.
All right. My vote is it's whichever one you're going for, whichever one you're winning. I think a lot of people may not agree with me right now because Atlanta happens to be in the driver's seat and just won the cup, but I think some of that depends on which one did you win. I think a lot of those New York Red Bulls fans they're obviously salty they didn't have the cup, but at the time of the Shield, that was more important. I think both of you made great arguments, and a lot of that's conditional, but out the gate, Nathan, with all the votes right now, I think I've got one for John. Anybody else, get your votes in now.
It's a landslide.
Yeah,
it is.
I vote for Nathan. He's got my vote. That was solid.
All right, we're calling it. We're calling it with Chris, with Nathan at Iron Tooth. That'll be the last vote. Stop it, Domer. You're ruining it. No more. That's it. Stopping it with Domer now.
I do love. I just want to point this out. We were talking about this earlier. Chris Iron Tooth saying, we have 30,000 Shield scarves hidden in a warehouse somewhere. No, they
absolutely do.
No, they're. Oh, well, if they have 2018 printed on them, I imagine they're over in a third world country by now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would hope so, at least.
Yeah, with all those Alabama trophy shirts. No, that's
okay. That's true. I like Joel's point. Rev United saying, who has a Supporters Shield parade?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nobody.
That's a good point.
Sad sacks.
All right, so coming up on round 4, first 2 heavy-handed wins to John. Round 3 went to Nathan. Coming up to round 4, another contentious debate that happened last season was in the starting position of 2 other individuals in the lineup. A conversation that's really happened since Atlanta United started. We were in a little bit of a limbo state before he got to the team, but we knew he was coming. As we go into the 3rd season, I think no position is a given, and you must fight for your role on the pitch. So in the debate of Can versus Guzan, who do you take, Nathan?
Wait a second.
Round 4, go.
Can versus Guzan. That is not fair. So I'll pick Guzan. Guzan had the pedigree of playing in England for all those years, even though he didn't have the best of showing. He didn't have the best of defenses either. He played in Europe. He came in. He's a shot stopper. He's better with his feet. He learned how to distribute the ball a little bit differently than what he was used to under Tata Martino. They played it back to him very, very often, and he's got a rhyme after him. He's. What can you say about Can? Can. You can't even make a chant for Can.
Are you kidding? Yes, we can. Yeah, I think that's.
I like it.
I guess.
All right, John, you're on the clock, man. Make it count.
The argument for Alec Can.
Yeah, of course. It's a no doubt. So there's so many chants that you can have about Can. You're like, because you can. And then if you change the question to about Khan versus Guzan, well, then you got, every time he makes a good save, you scream like Khan, like Star Trek. So, I mean, I've always liked Khan. He commands the box better than Guzan. I'll give him that. Yeah, obviously Guzan's the national team player. It's easy to go with him. But Khan, sorry, I do it again. Can command the box better than Guzan. That's his one weakness. And I want to see Guzan step that up this year.
One of the arguments and then I want to do this for you, John, but one of the arguments and one of the critical flaws in your dispute was the ceiling for both players and where they're trending and what their trajectory is. So
I'm a little disappointed. You didn't even say he's a hometown kid.
And where the hometown kid is.
He's a hometown
some flaws
kid.
in your argument, but nonetheless, you had the more challenging position. Let's get those votes in, guys, between Nathan and John. This could potentially tie the vote here. Let's go. So
vote or die, people.
Vote or die. Diddy said it. We're saying it. A lot of people coming in.
Iron Tooth.
We got a couple for John. Joe Johnstone with a John. Oh, a couple of votes for John.
No.
Oh no! And here comes the Nathan wave.
The Nate train.
Nathan had the cupcake. I mean, come on. Who are you going to choose for real? You're supposed to vote on the argument, not who's the better. Like who's going to be the better.
I tried to preface it before round 4, man. I don't make the rules. I don't get to vote for people. The trap has spoken. Nathan in a landslide, tying the vote internally here tonight with their voices heard. Nathan takes round 4.
No, I agree that wasn't completely fair.
Don't worry. We're going to get even. There's some silly ones in here, but that's
like Macaulay.
You got to balance it out, guys.
Just like Macaulay Culkin did back in 1993. We were about to get even with Dad.
That's right. That's
Did
right.
You guys,
that really was a funny debate. And then,
I thought you were going to say it was a funny movie because it was. Ted Danson was fantastic in that.
It's getting hot in here. You gotta take this coat off, guys. It's heating up. Competition's fierce. All right. So no, don't you look. Well, I guess you get to pick it.
Decide what you're doing.
You get to pick anyway. So round 5 is coming up. Some individuals that we already talked about on the show tonight, and some unknowns. I'll give you that. But an argument that needs to be made, and it will be up to you on how to make it. But in terms of where the team is headed versus where it's come from, and in the front office, Tata Martino versus Frank DeBoer. Which position will you take?
I'll take Tata Martino.
Round 4, 5, fight.
So Tata Martino is proven to not only win championships, but bring young players along. And he's the more sought-after coach. Frank DeBoer right now, we don't know what his next step will be. He had 2 colossal failures, and you can argue, I mean, I'm a huge Frank DeBoer fan, but you could argue that we don't know what's going to happen next with him. We don't know if his failures were just because of club disorganization, like he says, or because there's something flawed about his process. Tata Martino, we know what we're going to get. Even though he had lost a few finals, that was scary for us in the moment. He won us MLS Cup. He organized the team. He organized even down to the youth level for Atlanta United. If we had to choose who to stay, I would say let's stick with Tata Martino before going to a new coach. I fully support the new coach, but with Tata Martino, he's gained so much support because of his process, because of his winning games. And then he showed not only idealism during the regular season, but also very pragmatic in the playoffs and got it done.
All right. A couple of people getting ahead of ourselves. Again, this is back to the arguments, not personal opinions. I got a feeling this is going to be a heated debate. I might have to take tallies here. Either way, John, taking the stance of Frank DeBoer over Tata Martino.
Yeah.
Go.
So start with the obligatory Frank the Tank.
It's just got tifos for days.
There you go.
Feels good once it hits your lips.
Maybe we'll go to Bed Bath & Beyond when we're done. Okay. But I have one dispute. You said Tata can really bring up young people. I mean, Frank can do that. He's more known for that. So I'd actually side with Frank on that one. And then, Tata can win championships, but he did lose the Shield. So you do have that to look at. Frank had a winning culture at Ajax. He can bring up the young players. you talk about where the team's been, but you also asked where it's trending. And we got to get the treble. And to do that, we need the Shield. Tata was really good at starting the club, attracting the big names, but for development, growth, long-term opportunity, I'll side with Frank. He can put us in the next 5 years to that elite Ajax. I mean, Tata came with the flair, the pomp, but I think Frank. I mean, he look at his eyes and tell me you don't believe in him. When he stares you down, man, he's tremendous. And then Tata, you got to think even Mexico doesn't want Tata too much. They're on the fence about Tata down there. So I'll go with trending in the right direction with Frank. See, look at that, man. I'm scared.
All right, man. I mean, look at to talk about staring somebody down. I think your point was made there. I will respect the callback in making your defense of Frank DeBoer of using a previous stance of the Shield to poke holes in the validity of a Tata Martino system in losing the Shield. So I'll give a bonus point personally on that front.
I think the Comic-Con goers like to call that continuity.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
no
it.
continuity error there.
So while the votes are kind of coming in here, Tim, what are your thoughts? It's a big, strong lead for John out the gate.
Oh, I think I saw losing track people chatting in the trap, but I think part of the argument against Tata Martino, and again, I mean, what he did for this club is monumental, but was that he had been given great teams that he kind of failed with. If you want to go along those lines with Crystal Palace, or what happened to Frank DeBoer at Inter and at Crystal Palace, I think the Crystal Palace thing was just an absolute sham.
It's a mess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he was fired, 6 games in, something like that.
No, I agree. I mean, put the game to aside. I'm a full believer in Frank DeBoer. I think he's going to do a good job with Atlanta United. It's a tough question.
It is. I told you there's some silliness and some seriousness in here. John takes round 5 convincingly
and control back of the board, right?
And control the board 3-2. Another point I want to make about Frank is there's been a lot of talk about what Tata did with the youth in South America, and I think that's a valid point. But I think what Frank brings to the team is youth in the European side of things. And I don't think that just because the coach goes, those connections go, because the team has built success that you expect to continue. So if anything, it kind of broadens the horizons. Again, to your point, it's a tough question. That's what we're here for. We got to crown the true king, guys.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he'll do with the youth, with the system, and just like Ajax. He would say Ajax. It's like, is that how you pronounce it? But
it depends. Do you? Sometimes I ask you a question, you ask me a question.
There we go.
Right now, I ask John a question, which is round 6.
And sometimes I ask you a question.
I ask you a question. All right, John. A little bit of a personal question. When were you born, sir?
August 1st, 1983.
83. What about yourself, Nathan?
80.
80. Okay, great. So kids of the 90s, which is what we both expected to see. So kids of the 90s, being kids of the 90s, we all watched familiar sitcoms. I think most of the people in the trap will have watched some of these shows. And so tonight we ask you to defend the stance between one of these two shows, Full House or Family Matters.
All right.
Round 6, go.
So I guess Full House, because you have the Olsen twins, grown up, which is nice. I'm not gonna say they're not good. And then they made a sequel to it. How many sequels have been made about Family Matters? So that's all I got to say about that. Vote Full House, and then let's get back to some soccer questions.
Okay, Family Matters, and go.
Now I have to ask. That was the show.
Well, you are starting off to a great.
Was that the show with Urkel?
Yes. Yes.
I don't even know. So Urkel was a classic meme, and how many memes from Full House are continuing to carry on for this day? So Urkel for the win.
All right.
For me, you know how often I use the "you got it, dude" gif from Full House in company chat rooms?
I think for me, it's a Full House. I think John hit the nail on the head. I think there's both of them but Urkel is a big figure. I mean, It's tough. Who takes it more? You know, is it the Olsen twins or is it Urkel? That's
again,
tough.
this isn't your preference of the show. Who made a better argument? Granted, they were both short arguments.
Short arguments, but it matters. So stop voting with the show and vote with a name. John, who took the stance of
you guys are
Full
acting
House?
like you're taking the polling booths in Florida.
Seriously.
2000.
So John takes Full House. Nathan with Family Matters. What were some of your thoughts? I mean, I really did like. I felt like Family Matters had a little bit more depth to it.
It was a little more serious.
Definitely had more depth to it as a show.
But Dave Coulier,
Exactly.
that was my homeboy
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Joey.
Fuller House was just garbage. Can we all agree
Yeah.
to that? Okay, so a lot for Nathan here. A little split. Scroll up a little bit, Tim. Let me count on my fingers here. Let's go up to
Nathan, John, Nathan, John, Nathan. Okay. Yeah. Nathan. And we got a tie ball game.
Yeah, we're gonna give that one to John.
Or
Or
to
I meant
Nathan.
Nathan. Sorry, it's gonna go to Nathan. We're back tied again. So coming up on round 7. Back to a familiar topic. You guys have now done 2 rounds of these, and I think there's another matchup of 2 players which the community has debated who has a more pivotal role or who should start over who. Both youth players, both with different outlooks and potential, both internal to the league and internationally. So the discussion is for round 7, Carlton versus Barco.
Am I picking this one?
Yep.
You said Carlton versus Barco?
Yep.
Not Carlton versus Bello?
Nope.
No.
Carlton versus Barco.
Positionally, there is a discussion about who should start over.
In that position.
And I think there's also a case
Yeah.
to be made economically on who has a higher ceiling. And
So right now for this season, I would pick Barco. Barco has proven it in the Copa America final that he can lead a team. He was the best team on that championship winning team. I think, like I was mentioning before, he's run across a few roadblocks in this past season, mostly off the field stuff. But I think overall his skill level is right now where it is above Carlton. Carlton has a great ceiling. Barco, I think, has a much higher ceiling. And right now this season, Barco, his ability to possess the ball, to pass the ball, to be able to take on defenders 1v1, his shot accuracy, his knowledge of the game, for right now, I would just Barco.
Bill has a great point. Both have been suspended by the coach.
So that's a similarity they both hold.
Yeah.
By the couch. On the couch. By the coach.
On the coach, by the couch. All right. John, taking the position of Carlton over Barco. Go.
Yeah, I was going to mention that they both had off news, both got suspended for behavior. Yeah, there's a little back there. All right, so are we picking based on their on the field issues or their off the field issues? Because I'd rather have Carlton as a wingman. He'd be great out. He loves to party. Yeah, I'd love to hang out with him off the pitch. All right, and plus he's got a killer bun. But I think
all arguments go. I mean, this is all about how you plead your case. So,
and he's a local hometown kid, so everybody's got to root for him. U.S. men's national team player. He's got a lot of promise. You know, Barco hasn't lived up to his potential. Carlton is still. We don't even know what his potential is yet. So, his assist to Joseph, that one goal of the week, that was impressive. So given the potential Carlton has, that he's a local kid, U.S. men's national team player, and he just seems like a fun dude to hang out with. So I'll go Carlton.
all right. So starting with Chris Irontooth's last comment, Carlton looks like he's been on tour for a good few years with Brett Michaels. Let's start the votes between Nathan. Looks like a lot are coming in before. You guys got to give both gentlemen a chance to make their statements.
I think everybody's kind of upset that this was even a discussion because they don't see that there's. I think for the future, I think that discussion kind of makes sense. I mean,
think
to
it
take a look
does.
at those two.
And I think that my argument is about the economics of it. Is that my point between Carlton and Barco isn't necessarily about the talent or what the ceiling is. It's that what happens as a detriment to the team or the front office in the willingness to make reaches for players at $15 million if you're not, I mean, the ceiling right now is at $9 million. Alphonso Davies is the highest selling player, and you're looking to almost double it to make any kind of a profit. And so if you start to look at the economics of a Carlton versus Barco situation, you know, what happens in the long term, nobody really knows, but that's kind of why this discussion is important. It's not because I think both players are really talented on the field and they both have really high ceilings, but I think there's an extra part of that needs to be discussed and addressed. So big jump out for Nathan though.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how much the front office kind of dictates that to the coach. Like, look, we've got $50 million invested in this guy. We got to get our money back. Please play him. You know, that'd be an interesting conversation, or it's just like play the best player. But I agree, like it'd be a wise business decision to play him and develop him and at least see what you can get out of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I said Copa America, I meant Copa Sudamericana, not the Copa America.
And then all the votes that came in before I even had a chance to defend Carlton should be thrown out.
We wiped him off, but you still lost, bud.
Okay.
So it's okay though. It's okay. So Nathan is up by 1 now, right? Yeah.
No, it's 3-3.
No, it's 3-3 before the Carlton.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So now Nathan has taken round 7.
What do we got? 2 more?
Oh, dude, I got a handful of them here.
Yeah.
This is the best thing we've ever done. So we're just gonna get through them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh dear
6.
God!
I've got 6. We'll go quick.
Okay.
I'll do maybe I'll do a shorter intro. Kind of this is kind of my fault. All right. In national headlines this week was the College Football National Championship. I tasked both of you, Nathan, your choice, defending Clemson versus Bama.
Clemson, they won the game.
Just give them your votes, guys.
They showed their superior team by far, giving Alabama's worst loss in the history since their coach has been there, and outplayed them in every aspect of the game. I don't know if anyone really wants to hear any more about it than that.
Okay, John, defend Nick Saban and Alabama.
Yeah, well, college football sucks, and I don't really have to defend them because, yeah, let's just talk about soccer.
Let's see your votes, guys. Domer, doesn't matter. Nathan, Phil Holcomb, ACC. Joe Johnstone, neither. This is going great, guys. Come on. Just give me this one. All right, what is this, round 8? Round 8, Kevin wins.
No, John's getting it.
John, oh, we got another Nathan coming in. We'll count 10.
4, okay.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And John wins.
John wins.
All right, we got a tie ball game again. Are we going to make this the deciding? No.
No, dude, I got some good ones in here.
It's getting late.
All right. I'll find some good ones.
Did you write some down whenever I was out of the room earlier?
Just one.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things we didn't talk about was the fact that CONCACAF will be played in Kennesaw Stadium. So the choice to you, John, is defend Monster Truck Jam versus CONCACAF, and go.
Yeah. I mean, CONCACAF's definitely more important. If there was a way we could have kicked him out, we would have. Yeah. How many people are really going to go to that? Little side note, my brother showed up late, stayed for 5 minutes, and left last year. He hated it. So, yeah, I mean, clearly CONCACAF's better. And at least they found a place in Kennesaw. And that stadium in Kennesaw is still nicer than most of the other fields in Major League Soccer. And I bet that crowd that shows up to the small Kennesaw Stadium will still be bigger and better than most of the other teams' playoff, regular season games, and better than Chicago's playoff crowd. I mean, Chicago couldn't even fill their stadium for a playoff game. Playoff.
It's true.
It's a good point.
All right, Nathan, you have Gravedigger on your side. Make your case.
All right, guys. So this is why they couldn't move the CONCACAF games, or this is why they did move the CONCACAF games, because there was a motocross where they bring all the dirt in one weekend, And then the CONCACAF game was on the Wednesday. And then on the next weekend was the Monster Jam. So you can't bring all in that dirt, clean it out, and then bring it all back in. So that's why there's no other option.
It's a logistics thing.
It's logistics. And so actually they did inquire about Bobby Dodd Stadium, but there was something else going on that day. That would have been very romantic just to sit there at Bobby Dodd, stand there, Bobby Dodd, and be like, yeah, we used to be here. This is our roots. And then from a whole year ago. But Kennesaw, I really enjoy the Kennesaw State stadium there. It is a great stadium. The pitch is perfect. The first time I was there, I was standing next to a guy. He's like, oh, I didn't know this field was artificial turf. And I'm like, no, dude, this is real. It just looks fake. It's so good.
All right. So a lot of people voicing that they do like motocross, the monster trucks, but I think you were doomed to lose this one. Either way, again, just got to kind of switch things up here. But unfortunately, it fell to John, who already had the 1 point lead. So now he's stretched his lead to 2.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do 3 more. Just 3 more. Got 1 serious and 2 silly. Okay. Okay. Can you just bear with me for that? Serious first, or wait, I guess I'll give it to you, John. Do you want serious or silly?
Well, you have 2 silly and 1 serious, right?
Yep.
So yeah, let's have a serious sandwich. Go silly.
Okay, I like it. Pick a hand, right or left.
Right. I'm right-handed.
Right.
Everybody's right-handed. 80% of it.
No, that wasn't the question.
One of the
that would be silly.
One of the biggest disputes in a poll that was posted on the Home Before Dark Twitter page just months ago, leading up to the Cup run, and ultimately led to some of the success of Atlanta United, was between Creed versus Nickelback.
Yeah, I think wasn't Creed the original? Creed was the original Nickelback, and pretty sure Nickelback ruined Creed. I think that's how that works. So yeah, Creed, they both suck, but I'd rather go with the original instead of the copycat. I mean, if you're a copycat of something that's already bad, a copy of a copy of a copy, you just start losing quality after that. And that's why all the bands that came after Nickelback even just sucks.
So are you saying that Nickelback should have been dead on a Sunday morning? That's the first Creed song. Come on.
Stop ruining John's arguments here. Or Nathan's arguments. Nethel, go.
All right, Nickelback, because, I mean, when you hold out that picture and you say, look at this photograph, to everyone it means something. It means something different. It touches your heart. Look at the photograph. Just look at it. And that's why Nickelback's better.
Oh, look. I mean, Bill Holcomb in before you even made the comment. It's a great point. I think there's some value in branding. And sometimes, you just look at the photograph and a picture tells 1,000 words. So, or is worth 1,000 words. Who we got? All right, let's see the votes coming in. Got a couple for John, another one for John. Got one for Nathan there. Brittany S. Nickelback had some bangers, though. That's a good point. Brittany knew, or Bethany knew a new voice in the trap.
We have like sisters. Bethany and Hannah knew, and then there's another new in there. Yeah.
There's a lot of new news in here. This is great. Sorry, Nate.
No
John
fake
all
news.
day. A couple. This one's pretty even. I'm not seeing any clear winners here. Should we flip a coin for this one?
Yeah.
Any opposition from the competitors here on a coin flip?
No, flip a nickel.
All right.
Heads. Nathan takes it.
All right, Nathan takes that one.
All right, so it's a 1 point game.
I believe so.
All right, we got serious part of the serious sandwich.
Serious part of the serious sandwich, which is, I really like the way this all worked out.
Of course you did. You're the architect of our demise.
All right. Last one, and it was touched on a little bit ago about player debates, and you guys thought we forgot about him, but we didn't. Atlanta's own, the youngster, George Bello, making the case against Chris McCann. Who do you choose? Make your argument. Make your statement.
As a first-team player for the 2019 season.
Chris McCann versus George Bello.
I go Bello all the way. Bello showed the speed, the energy. He's got a great up value. Talking about what we're saying about Barco. If for Bello you play him, you get the value out of him. I really liked what I saw out of him. He shows both the ability to defend 1v1 and the ability to get forward with his speed and score without a doubt. McCann, he's slow, he's overpaid, he's past his prime. His wife complains a lot on Instagram, and so I go Bello all the way.
All right, John. Defend Gaynor and no, you just have to defend Chris McCann. No need to defend Gaynor.
Yeah. Well, Chris McCann was on a championship winning side that he was a significant role in down the stretch. Bello, he had a couple good showings, but he's still very young. And if you throw him into the mix, he could turn out like another Freddie Adu. You know, you don't want to give him too much too soon. So if we were asking long term, yeah, I agree with Bello. We're talking about just for this next season. McCann's still got a little bit in the tank. I mean, Bello, he's the sexy option. He's talented. He's really good. What can't he do? And that goal, his first game, his first goal, that was intense. But McCann's proven himself. He's leadership role. He's going to help. He could help in CONCACAF. He can do whatever he. So yeah, I'll debate McCann because Bello is the exciting option, and the voters want to go Bello. But McCann proved himself last year, and he's part of the reason we won.
I like it. That's a great argument. So let your voices be heard. John, who took the stance of McCann, versus Nathan, who took the stance of Bello. I actually miscounted, guys. You're tied at 5 apiece. So we have 2 left. It could end up in a tie. We'll see, but let your voices be heard. So far, we have 1 for John, 2 for John, 1 for Nathan. Let's go. And I'm going to count it down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've got 6-4 in favor of John. That was make 7-8. So John takes that over.
So John
Nathan.
takes the lead. 6-5.
John takes the lead. 6-5. All right, John.
This is like if First Take or that Skip and Shannon show, if they were like honest with the people, that they weren't really arguing, that they just had to pick a side pre-production.
Right. All right. In the serious sandwich, we have a real sandwich debate that needs to be made tonight.
Hot dog? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It's not that one. That's for another time. But it is a debate that needs settled. And the people need answers. We've talked about your Pop-Tarts, putting a little bit of warm peanut butter on top of that Pop-Tart or your toaster strudel. You know,
peanut butter on a toaster strudel?
Yeah, man.
It's too soft.
Nah, I think it's all right.
It's too soft.
Man. Well, that makes my follow-up point. What's every soft sandwich need? A little crunch factor. So in the sandwich debate, in crunchy versus smooth peanut butter.
And we're talking about like we're not throwing in honey. We're not talking Nutella. No. We're talking straight up Peter Pan peanut butter.
Which way you going? Crunchy, smooth, John, for the win.
Fight it.
Which way you?
I'm an expert at peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I never outgrew them. I love them. I make them all the time. You gotta love crunchy. Yeah, it's a little dark horse on that. Creamy's the original, but that crunchy. The chunks of peanuts, it adds texture to the sandwich. Because it can get a little mushy when you add the jam. If you add enough of that jelly on there, and then I make it good. I'm talking jelly falling off the sides, peanut butter falling off the sides, stuck to the roof of your mouth when you're eating it. I mean, you think I like talking about soccer? I think I could talk about PB&J all day. So the crunchy, it adds a little bit of texture. I go crunchy peanut butter.
Damn, son. I like it. My mouth's watering. I don't know how you're going to follow it up, Nathan, but taking the stance of smooth or creamy peanut butter, however you want to say it.
I mean, he's been making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a long time, but I have to disagree with him. Smooth is by far the better peanut butter. I don't know if you've ever gotten crunchy peanuts stuck in your teeth, but you've eaten that stuff all day long after a sandwich. So if that's what you like, you're making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a lot, but I'd rather not get them stuck in my teeth. I'll go with smooth. For smooth, you get the organic kind, just stir it all up, get it nice. You can't do that with crunchy. For smooth, I mean, have you ever ripped up a piece of bread trying to spread crunchy peanut butter?
That's a good
on
point.
A piece of bread, just like
damn, son.
And then you get a hole in your sandwich, and then that's when it's really
dropping knowledge.
All over
dropping knowledge. I like it. All right, votes coming in. Let's close the door on the great debate and set up the. Right now, John's got a 1-point lead. Crunchy versus smooth. John taking the stance of crunchy versus Nathan. Lethal Weapon taking the stance of smooth. Got a couple for John. John trying to get brownie points here. Oh, we got a quick clap back for Nathan here. John, a couple more. Nathan, a couple more. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, scroll up a little bit, Tim. Scroll up. Let's see where the first name comes up.
All right, I think it is.
All right, Gator, we'll start there. So that's John,
2,
John,
3,
John,
4,
Nathan,
5.
John, Nathan, John, Nathan, John. I think that might be a dead heat. We got to close it out with a coin flip.
All right.
Close it out with a coin flip. It's the only way. I mean, it is truly back and forth, man. The people have spoken.
You're voting more than
I told you.
I want to see that count. I want to see a screenshot of that.
This is shenanigans. You guys, I wasn't reading the names, and you got me. Well done. All right.
Caught tripping
in the trapping. What you got?
It didn't flip again.
It is tails. So John, right? Got
Yeah.
tails. So John takes a 2-point lead. That's a 2-vote lead, depending on what happens. That will put towards John's total on the Twitter poll.
How long can you have a Twitter poll out?
I think just 24 hours. Maybe
you can make it longer. You can make a few days.
Make it a few days.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
we need to let
Make it a
people
few days.
ingest the
I think
audio.
we make it for a full week. Make it
Yeah.
for a full week. That gives everybody a chance. Gives you guys a chance to campaign and spread the word to listen to the show.
How hard is it for you to make crunchy peanut butter sandwiches for your kids?
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want
You just warm up the bread a little bit.
put it over. So.
Yeah, but to your point, John, I don't have to put chips on my sandwich if I have crunchy peanut butter.
The crunch factor is an understatement that needs to be brought up.
Toast the bread a little bit, or have the peanut butter a little warm. I mean, there's a way you can do it. Have a warm knife. There's definitely ways.
Yeah, warm knife, son.
So you're an expert in PB&J. Is the J for jam, jelly, or would you rather have a PB&P with preserves, some seeds in there?
Or would you like to have a PB&F? Get that marshmallow fluff in that bitch and do it like a true
with bananas.
Yes, John, my man.
And honey. I mean, look it up.
I second
Captain Crunch. Sprinkle some Captain Crunch in there too.
Oh, double crunch factor. I love it. It's a crunch factory. You get that stalactite mouth.
No. So this is like, I think that is the catalyst to stalactites, because you talk about peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. That's the last thing you want Captain Crunch to do, is to stick to the roof of your mouth.
That's true.
It's going to be there for days.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Finally, we would be remiss if we didn't get a few fantasy football tips and tricks from the both of you. John, you took the win, so we'll be gentlemen here. Give Nathan the lead. Couple pointers for fantasy, how you kind of look at your lineup every week, and a couple of pointers you can give people for this season.
Oh man, I don't want to give all the secrets away. But I look at a few review websites that post who they think are going to be good that week, and then I go through. One little trick is to use your bench creatively. To use your bench with your bottom of the money players that are not going to start, and so you leave those guys starting, and so on your bench you have I forget the numbers about it, but you put people on the starting lineup who are not going to start, and so that automatically triggers to the top 2 out of 3 on your bench are going to start. That's a little trick.
Good deal. John, what you got?
I like to you stack the defense with the goalkeeper. You play for shutouts. You take advantage of that switcheroo, playing your bench smartly. If your defense doesn't get you a lot of points, don't be afraid to sacrifice 3 or 4 points in the starters to play for that 8 or 9 points. And nailing that captain's pick is crucial. So you got to go with those players that can get the accumulation points and the goals and the assists. If you miss, like Joseph Martinez when he hit that hat trick, if you didn't have him as your captain that week, you didn't win. So just focus on those. Pick the right players. Put them in the right positions.
And set your damn lineups.
Oh,
Set your lineup.
And use models, stats, and trends.
I like it. So in closing here, any plugs, people to give shout outs to? Thank you guys both for coming on.
Sorry it took so long.
Being good sports on everything. It got silly, but I hope everybody else enjoyed it. I know we sure did. And the debate continues, I think, on crunchy versus creamy. And,
I think so. I like.
I think
Brittany
we
S.
all win in the process.
Brittany S. As always, coming with the logic, aside from the Nickelback quote. But well, smooth and creamy is always sold out in stores. America spoke.
That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'll give a few shout outs, especially first to you guys. I wasn't expecting this, but I don't know if you guys can see this. They got a scarf and stickers for us for coming on. I had no idea they do that, so that was really great of you guys. Shout out to West Atlanta Pediatrics, where I work, in Dallas and Lithia Springs. Shout out to the faction. Carl, Rev United is Joel Diaz, Travis Little, Joe Smith in Athens.
Awesome. And where can the people find you at on Twitter?
At NSLYNES.
Awesome.
On Twitter.
Looking forward to seeing you at the top of the leaderboards this season, I'm sure. John Jacob, the man of the hour.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. There's your new fantasy name.
I like it. Shout outs to my family, friends, baby Declan. He's awesome. Hopefully every year of his life is another championship trophy for Atlanta United. That would be the goal. But for real though, shout out to the Group Me stream, which you guys are familiar with, ATLUTD boy. So got a shout out to them, friends and family. That's about it. Yeah.
And where can the people find you at on Twitter?
John F. Beasy.
I love it, man. Tim, this is a hell of a show.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was everything I could have hoped for and more.
Dan is going to be so upset.
I'm not. I'm glad. He would have ruined it. Somehow he would have found a way. He would have
have just now shown up.
That's it. That's probably it. He's probably getting ready for next week's show now.
Yeah, thanks for being the mastermind behind this, Chuck Woolery.
I try, man. I try. Look, I got to do something. You do all of this, so it's just your studio, and I'm just here living in it.
Oh gosh,
lots of
Kevin just taking pot shots at me because.
We got a lot of fun things planned for you guys. We had a hell of a season last year. We tweeted out a couple of the benchmarks we made, and none of that would be possible without all of you guys that participate in the fantasy leagues, the FIFA tournaments, the fundraising for soccer in the streets, hanging out in the trap with us each and every week, the ratings, the reviews on Twitter, on Instagram, all of it. We love the hell out of you guys. We got a ton of stuff planned for 2019, some new content coming to the channels, so keep an eye out for that. We'll get some more information out to you guys as we get a little bit closer, but the family keeps growing, and we love having every one of you as a part of that. So thanks for checking us out. You can find Dan, when he can't be bothered to be here, at his name, FUCKH3D on Twitter. And Tim, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Tim Herb.
Find me as well at The Architect. That's at @the_ARC. Number 1 TECT, or where I'm most frequently at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. Check out.
You should be on your own a lot more than you are on the show page.
Okay, taking pot shots. I see. Okay, I see you. Look, man, I tried to talk about the Colts. It's not my fault that they came up short.
I will end you just like I'm about to end this live stream.
Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out. Check out gethomebeforedark.com. You can throw a little / and a shop on there. We got hats and some other things that, again, part of goals for 2019 is to get some more stuff in there. So be sure to check that out. We'll put out details for the next fantasy league. We'll see you guys out at the bins or at Kennesaw Stadium, wherever it is. You can find us, coordinate with us, meet and greet with us. MEAT, as always. Beard Brethren in full effect. Love you guys. See you next week. As always, be home before dark.